Good morning, everyone. So to begin with, I would like to take you all to a very familiar space, something that we think about almost every day and spend more than half of the day. That's about our future self. So if you're really comfortable, I just request you to close your eyes for 20 seconds to do this little exercise. Close your eyes, relax yourself, just take 2 deep breaths. I want you to think about a future version of yourself. It could be 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down the line. Now in this future version, you have everything you've always desired. The kind of car you really wanted to have, the house you really wanted to have, the right partnership you wanted to have. Everything right, the kind of job that really excites you. You're making the right kind of money in this future version. And now ask yourself, while you're seeing this version of yourself, what kind of energy does this version carry on a daily basis? What are the conscious steps you're taking on a daily basis to achieve this version? And hold that version in your mind right now. You may open your eyes. Most of the times when we think about a version of ourselves from moving from this place to the future version, we at times want to achieve it all while forgetting what it takes to be there. And that's just a dream version of ourselves. So when we talk about this energy shift, it is this energy intelligence, and no, it's not a scientific model. This energy intelligence, it's all about this self-awareness and the energy shift that takes place from one place to the other, from becoming that one version you were to the version that you will be becoming, and it is absolutely all about yourself. We talk so much about AI, which is artificial intelligence. How many times do we really talk about this energy intelligence and these energy shifts, which are nothing but self-awareness, these conscious little steps in one direction to achieve it all? Because we are never taught this in schools, we are never taught this in colleges, and hence when colleges gets over, it's all about us dealing with all the real issues in the world. Because in schools, it's all about exams, coming first, competing with this kid or that kid. But in colleges, post that, it's all about how do we deal with those heartbreaks? How do we deal with those rejections? How do we deal with becoming the best version of ourselves? And think about all those moments that had come in your life. And all these confusions that eroded, and you thought, this is it. I will never come out of this phase. And so I dealt with this confusion for a very long time. In my school, I was a very, very conscious person, and I was just a backbencher with my books, never participating in any extracurricular activities, because to me, English sounded like a foreign language, and I would never speak to the kids even sitting next to me, because even a how are you looked so absurd in my mind that I would never participate in anything else than the basic exams. And so one fine day in a college assembly, I was just sitting there in school, and I saw this senior talking so fluently, and I looked at this person and I felt, my God, I wish I could ever talk like him. And then I just laughed at myself because it was not possible. I went back to my seat and just carried on with the day. And one fine day, my English teacher came up to me and she said, why don't you ever participate in debate competitions? What is holding you back? And I said, I'm very conscious, I'm very insecure, people will mock me. And so she told me, let's put your name out there and let's rehearse. You're the only kid who never participates. I don't want you to be like this. I want you to be confident and try your best. So the following weeks we only studied. I liked her company, so I read novels. I only read and I just spent time with her. And she never pushed me for the stage. And then because of her efforts, I thought, let me just try. What's the maximum that's going to happen? I'll come on the stage and probably faint, or maybe people will mock me, but I want to go and get over this fear. And so I went ahead. Most of the time, I just had a blackout. I could not think much. Even till date, I don't remember how I spoke. I went back to my seat, and there were announcements of all these people who were coming in the top 3 debate competitions. And the winners were getting announced. And I was sitting looking at this free refreshment, and I was just eating because my entire focus was on the free food. And I never visualized myself that I'll ever come in even the top 3. It was just a dream. And suddenly I heard my name, that I won the debate competition. Until date, I don't remember how the medal looked like. It was all about me trying to be there. It was all about the process and the efforts. It was all about that one thought that had come in that assembly hall, looking at that senior. Because what if that thought would have never come? I would probably be the same, that conscious kid. And so this exactly happens in our adulthood, and we think about it later. I was trying to navigate these areas of my life even till last year. What brings this insecurity? And it's probably the childhood experiences. We all have good and bad experiences. Some have far worse than the others. And so it's so easy to blame your childhood. And we need to think about this, because what happens in our childhood is never our fault. But what happens in adulthood is completely our responsibility. And so we forget loving ourselves because it is so easy to pinpoint the mistakes that we committed than being happy about the things we did right. And so I want to ask this question to you, to all of you. Think about the two people whom you love the most in the world. Family, friends, kids, these two people. Some names would have popped up. Now tell me how many of you thought about the first name being yourself? That's very good. So most of us only think about other people, loving them the most. But we forget ourselves, and it is very important. It is this energy shift that takes place from fixing our inner world to bringing that energy on the outside and become that magnet that everything is possible. And it only happens when we love ourselves. Because right now, after the childhood just exits, we keep on dwelling on the same thing and the same negative experiences, and the energy expands. So here is an example. You know those fireflies who looked very beautiful? Some fireflies were captured in a jar, and the lid was closed as an experiment. Now these fireflies originally would fly 5 times higher than the jar. But now being trapped with this lid, they would only fly till that lid. And now, as an experiment, when they had the generations ahead, this lid was removed. And now, the future generations of these fireflies still flew as higher as the jar lid, and not remembering their original capability. Because this is what is taught. We experience these generational questions and whispers in our heart and mind, and we think what our parents are doing is what we are supposed to do, what the society is doing is what we are supposed to do, and we limit ourselves in this jar when the lid is not even there. So every limit that we possibly think of is in our mind, and only our mind. So we keep thinking and comparing ourselves to the other people while forgetting this energy that we can make so many shifts in ourselves. And so we clap for the other people, however, we stop clapping for ourselves, because so many phases of our lives would have been that we are stuck and we can never come out of it, but we did. So I want to take this maybe 5 seconds to clap for ourselves today, just ourselves, nobody else. And with this, I want to end this with a question. I really want you to think about it every day, not just today, but every day. What kind of a life would you really want to live if you only focused on the things that are going right and expanding that energy rather than thinking what is missing? Thank you.